Hello everyone, my name is Jenna. I've been on Mounjaro / Zepbound for 6 months and lost 69 pounds. So I am very excited about that. I am also very excited. My pool is finally warm enough for me to do laps. So that's going to be my exercise for the day. Today though, I wanted to talk about the price. The cost and of these GLP-1 medications. Bernie Sanders, who is a senator, and he is also the head of the Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions, I believe, committee. And he did some research about these GLP-1s. They're really popular. You know, what's going on with the cost. Turns out they could charge potentially $5 a month for these medications and still make a profit. And he said, what's going on? Why, specifically Ozempic and Wagovy are $1,300 a month. Why so much? When the price in Canada is like $150 and the price in Germany is $59 for the exact same medication. What's going on here? Why are we being charged so much? Now, just like I said in my last video, I understand the research and development that has gone into these medications. It takes years to study them, do studies, for the scientists to come up with them, for the FDA to approve. It is a long and expensive process. Also, they are continuing to do research to get the public, better GLP-1 medications. Example, retatrutide, which should be here in about 3 years, I believe is the estimate. So I do understand they want to make their money back. They have put a lot into this, and there's a huge demand. I mean, right now, there's shortages. There is a huge demand for these medications. So they can charge these high prices. It makes these medications inaccessible to some people, but they can still charge these high prices and have enough patients that want it, that there is a shortage. Unfortunately, insurance companies are starting to pull out, saying we are not going to pay for these expensive medications anymore. It's costing us way too much money. We just can't do it. North Carolina state employees, they had dropped from their insurance, dropped GLP-1s. It is just costing way too much money. For them to cover the state employees' GLP-1 medications, everyone who has their state insurance, their premium would have to go up about $50 a month. I think it was like $48.50 a month. Now, for someone on a GLP-1, knowing how much these cost, is going to say, well, yeah, of course. It's $50 as opposed to $1,300. Of course, I'll pay, the extra $48 or $50 for it. However, you have the majority of people who are not taking GLP-1s who do not want their insurance to go up another $50 a month. So, North Carolina said, no, we are going to have to cut these off. Delaware is starting to consider for their state employees cutting it off, apparently, and so is Connecticut. At least that's what I'm seeing. The articles I'm seeing is they're starting to be concerned and starting to crack down on who's getting these GLP-1 medications, and that they meet the qualifications, have a BMI of a certain number, and also have another disease such as high blood pressure, obviously diabetes, but another disease process that would benefit from these GLP-1 medications. So now I know with Zepbound, because I take Zepbound, that with the savings card, it's $550 a month. That still makes this medication inaccessible to a lot of people. A lot of people just don't have $550 a month to put into they just don't have it, and they could really benefit from having these medications. I think in the long run, insurance companies paying for these medications would help them in the long run, because with preventative measures, maybe you won't have as many heart issues, as many people who need medication for high cholesterol or blood pressure. The other thing, this was very interesting. I don't really see this happening because I just don't. But I saw an article talking about, well, if we made these medications over the counter, the cost would go down. Sort of like Tylenol. If you have a prescription for Tylenol, it's 3 times that of if you bought it over the counter. So the insurance company for prescription Tylenol is paying like 3 times that. Because patients aren't seeing that cost. They're paying their whatever $25 copay, and they're getting their medication, and is not really concerned with the cost of their medication. The insurance companies are taking care of that. So I saw an article that suggested, maybe this would be, they could make it over the counter. The reason medications, for the most part, are not over the counter is for safety reasons. There's an argument both ways. Would these medications be safe for people over the counter? I think that would lead to problems with people not understanding and saying, I'm just going to take 15 milligrams on their first shot. I know I'll be fine, and end up in the ER with severe, gastrointestinal issues. I think the problem is you're always going to have those people who can't follow directions and think they know everything, and you're going to have problems. Unfortunately, making medications over the counter. It's sad that people can't be trusted to do the right thing, but as people have proven in the United States over and over and over, they won't do the right thing. The other suggestion was make it so it is behind the counter, but not necessarily prescription. Kind of like Sudafed, that the pharmacist had a little control over who was getting the medication. I guess that's, an option. Although, again, anybody could say, I've been on, these medications for a year, and, I'd be fine with 15 milligrams. So I don't necessarily think that is something that would happen anytime soon, but it's very interesting that would cut costs, because people, when you don't have the prescription and people are paying out of pocket, they're not going to pay as much, because the cost is solely theirs. I mean, it's an interesting idea, though I don't necessarily see that happening. Also, apparently, we have some like Medicaid insurances that are covering these medications. That is draining the state Medicaid's allowance, or what they have to spend on medications. It's draining them, because these medications are actually very, very expensive. The other thing I have to say about the pharmaceuticals and charging so much, right now probably would not be the best time to lower the cost, for the sole reason of all these shortages. More people having access to these medications obviously is a wonderful thing. But right now there are national, global shortages. Making it accessible for more people and increasing the competition for these medications is not really the best move at this time. Once they ramp up production, maybe that would be an option. Although the flip side of that is they've spent billions of dollars on new facilities to ramp up production. Does it really make sense then? Hey, we're going to cut costs. But on the other hand, you have a lot more patients that are paying and getting these medications. So you're getting a lot more patients. That means a lot more money. Could they potentially cut costs there? And, to be honest with you, I mean, there is a difference between $550 and $100 or $200. From what I understand, they could make a profit charging, at least for Wagovy and Ozempic. I don't know about Zepbound and Mounjaro. They could make a profit charging $5 a month for these medications. They do not cost a whole lot to make. What is costing is all the research and development that went into it and the research and development for new drugs to keep going. But now with them buying up all these, billions of dollars in real estate, plus to get the manufacturing going, they're putting in a whole lot of money. So, they're putting out a lot. Are they going to be able to cut costs and still make a profit? Actually, the answer is probably yes. But they have a responsibility to the investors, and investors like to see that money rolling in. So I do see it from both sides. I think greater access to these medications are wonderful. It is preventative care in the long run. It's going to save insurance companies money. I understand right now it's a huge burden for them. If my insurance would cover some of these medications, of course, I would be fine with a price hike in premiums. But that doesn't mean my coworkers who don't need these medications would be okay with that price hike. So I think, there's two ways to look at it, but I do think people are looking, government is looking at these medications and looking at what can be done to lower cost for consumers and for insurance companies. So hopefully something will come out of that. Who knows how long it will take. I don't think it's going to be anytime in the next 6 months that they will cut costs, but hopefully once, manufacturing and demand are getting equal, they can get new patients on and supply the medications. Hopefully maybe we can get some relief in costs. That's all for today. Thank you for listening. Have an amazing day. I would love to hear what everybody has to say about this. Please subscribe and comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.